Yo, what it do, YouTube? What it do, YouTube? Yo, what it do, YouTube? What it do, YouTube? Make sure my playback sounds okay. Yo, what it do, YouTube? What it do? Just making sure my playback sounds a little decent. Waiting for some more people to get up in the room. I had to post it on my social medias that I am live right now. Just waiting for some people to tap in with it. You know how we rock. You know how we rock. I'm not gonna be on that long. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Thanks for tapping in. Thanks for tapping in. We are live now. What do you do? How's everybody's morning, afternoon, whatever time zone you're on? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling out there today? It should be a decent show. Definitely not going to be staying on too long. Definitely going to talk about the family structure. Definitely going to need people's opinions to keep this running. I'm not going to be on that long. Maybe an hour, if that. Got that StreamYard key in the comments. Anybody want to hop on? I might not have my let me see if the StreamYard key is even on here. Yes, I do have that StreamYard key that's on there. I'm waiting for some more people to tap in while I get my notes and stuff together. Let me know if y'all can hear me good. I'm not too sure if I got my using the right microphone or not. Let's see how it sounds. Going through my notes right now, trying to get ready for this show, get more people to tune in, tap in. You feel me? That's how this works. This only works when people tap in. We're going to be talking about broken homes, family structure. As y'all can see the thumbnail, we are live. We are live. Let me let some more people know on my social medias that we are live right now. Some people don't know we live. You know, people don't know we live. Let people know we live. No, it is early. Just putting some stuff on my social media so I could get more people to tap in. I get it going once more people hop in the room. You feel me? There's no sense for me to keep it going if I'm just talking to myself. That's not how this works. It doesn't work like this on this podcast. You know, This podcast, many people's opinions. That's what keeps it running. It's people's opinions. Yeah, I'm not really looking to be on camera like that, but I'm here. I'm alive. I'm here, y'all. I just, it's like being on camera like that today. Unless I get more people to tune in, and then I won't mind hopping on the camera with y'all if y'all want to be on camera. But it does not have to be a camera show today. But it definitely is a good topic if I could get the right people to tune in. Definitely could be a good topic. Like I said, I'm not going to be on too long. I'm actually starting to feel a little bit under the weather, but I say, you know what, I still come and do this show. But I'll wait though. I do got time, shit. So I'll wait. I'll wait for more people to tap in. I don't have no problem waiting a little bit. But I'm here. I'm still here, y'all. I'm here. I'm just waiting for more people to tap in. Like I said, I got time, so I ain't really starting nothing until I get a good amount of people hopping in the room. If I don't, I can always redo this. You feel me? Do a part two, whatever. So letting people know I'm live. That's about it. See, I wouldn't mind actually starting the show later in the day. It's just like the only time like where I ain't got kids screaming and stuff like that. So I do it where I got the free time to do it, which I still think it's a decent time. But some people on different time zones and stuff like that, and I understand it's a Sunday, so some people be at church. So it's really a hard time to do a live, really, for people to tune in due to the time and the day I do it on. But it's my best day, and I'm okay with people that just replay it back too. So I'm gonna get into the show in a few minutes. I'm just trying to see if I can get a couple more people to time in because how I rock with these shows is it's about people's opinion. Thanks for tapping in. Thanks for tuning in, tapping in. I'm just waiting for a few more people to hop in. We're gonna get started with this conversation of broken homes, family structure. How I rock with on this platform. It's people's opinions. That's what keeps me going on this platform. Everybody has a different opinion of what a broken home is. Statistically, everybody feels that a broken home is when your parents are divorced, right? But everybody grew up different. Everybody's household and household structure is way different. Some people didn't grow up with their parents at all. So what we're gonna do today is time in and tap in and get people's opinion and advice on how they grew up. How I rock with this and on this podcast. This is people's opinions. I got that StreamYard key for anybody that wants to willing to hop on the panel with your boy. Please leave your comments in the comment section. If you're afraid to hop on, I do encourage people to hop on. That's how we run this platform here. But I'm definitely waiting for a couple more people to tune in, tap in. I don't have my co-host today. He's doing the bowling alley, and my other boys, I don't know what they're doing right now, but I usually have a couple of co-hosts with me, but it looks like I might have to hold it down. So I'm definitely not going to be on that long. But it definitely is a good conversation when it comes to family structure and broken homes. I would like to get people's different opinion of what a broken home is in their opinion. Some people grew up with one parent. Do you feel like a house can be structured with one family, like one parent in the household? I got some keynotes written down where I can go back and forth with people about it. But how I run this platform is, I got to have people tune in and people's opinions. That keeps me going, keep the conversation spicy, and keeps conversation going. Or you just hearing me blab and talk to myself, unless you just like hearing my voice. You feel me? So to each his own. But we all grew up different when it comes to broken homes and family structures. Some people grew up with their grandparents. Some people grew up with both their parents. So let's get into it. You can actually have a broken home and have both your parents in the household. You can have both your parents in the household and still come from a broken home. Why is that? Put that in the comments. Why is that? Why can you have both parents and still come from a broken home? Because statistically, they say a broken home comes from when your parents are divorced. Or, if you're only with one parent, that's considered a broken home. But when I do my research, that's really not the whole truth when it comes to living in a broken home or being from a broken home. You can have both parents. Both parents can only be together because of the kids, so they don't get along. They argue, they fight. There's a lot of violence. The cops getting called to the house. Wouldn't that be considered a broken home too? Sometimes you grew up with your aunties and you feel me, and they boyfriend is a drunk, or your grandparents are not really around, or they're too old to really take care of you, and you're pretty much out on the street on your own. So there's a lot of different definitions. I'm just trying to get people's opinion what a broken home is, because statistically, what they feel a broken home is really not true. A broken home doesn't just mean you don't have both your parents in the household with you. And I also want to touch base, what is the difference with having both the parents in the household when it comes to having both sexes and different opinions in the household? How does that help you grow up and grow your own family once you get old enough? Does that affect you? There's a lot of questions and definitions we could get into once I get more people to tap in, tune in, hit that like button. I appreciate it. Hit that StreamYard key. I'm definitely promoting it while I'm talking too. I'm trying to get more people to tune in, tap in. you know, my podcast is still very new. So I'm still building my audience up right now, and I'm still getting people to tap in and tune in, and people come in and out the room. And I got one of the podcasts where I actually get a lot of playbacks. A lot of people come back and run my show back, so I get a lot of that. Soon I'll get a lot of people tuning in where I go live. I go live on weird days. So Sunday's a weird day to go live. A lot of people are at church. A lot of people still might be asleep. Do their whole work week and stuff like that. And I totally agree with people. But I'm definitely waiting for more people to tap in, tune in, because this is about opinions. Everybody grew up different when it comes to households and what your definition of a broken home is. I definitely want to know. Statistically, they say a broken home is two divorced parents. But when I do my research, and even coming from my experience, that's not true at all. That's definitely not true when it comes to a broken home. I definitely want to know people's definition of a broken home and the family structure and why things are set up the way they're set up. Let's get into a conversation about it. Don't be afraid to hit that StreamYard key. Don't be afraid to put your comments below. That's how we run this platform. Don't be afraid to come on and hop on and give your opinion about what you feel a broken home is. I'll wait. I'll wait. Like I said, I got time. I'm not going to be on here forever though. But how this works is I need people to tap in and time in, and we could get into conversations of how you feel like a broken home is, and why it's the definition inside Google saying that a broken home is two divorced parents, but everybody didn't grow up with both their parents at all. Some people never knew how it feels to have a mom or a dad. Some people just grew up with their mother, but still came from a broken household because the mom didn't know how to raise them, and they end up just running the streets. Or some people grow up with their father, which is rare, but it does happen. Some people just grow up with their father, and the father works on the time, so the father's not home a lot, so you don't really have guidance like that. So what is a broken home? Everybody has different opinions, and that's how we tap in and tune in. That's how I rock with this. Need people to tap in, give you your opinions, what you feel like broken home is. Did you come from a broken home? And if you were raised by one parent, how did that affect your life as a grown person? There's a lot of ways we could tap in and tune in with it. This is definitely a good conversation that could go on for a while if I have the right people that tap in and tune in with me. That's how it works. And this platform, I'm always going to have good topics, but having the right people tune in is a different story. Like I said, I got time. I got time to run this and wait for people, but I'm not gonna wait forever to have 10 people hop in the show, hop in the show in and out. I definitely got to keep the show running no matter what. Got to keep it going. Got to keep it spicy for those that are watching now. So that's how it runs. But I definitely want people's opinion on how you felt of what a broken home is, and did you come from a broken home? I appreciate you for joining, Ashley. Definitely do. I definitely appreciate you for tuning in. But please drive safe. I don't want to take your eyes off the road. Definitely drive safe. Be safe out there. But I do appreciate you tuning in. Like I said before, around 12 o'clock, 12 noon ish on Sundays, I go live and I have good topics. But the way I run this podcast over here is people's opinions keeps the podcast going, or it's just me talking to myself basically. And on this podcast, I can bring people on the panel with me and people can express their feelings on different subjects. I do have a StreamYard key when people are welcome to hop on the panel with me. I usually have D Ward, J Mills hopped on, Tashim. I have a couple of people from the that grew up with us that do hop on the platforms with me on Sundays, but some of them are busy today, so I might not really get a panel host. If I do get a panel host in the maybe another 20 minutes or so, then I got something going for today. I can keep it spicy, but until then I got to keep it running by myself right now. So that's what I'm going to do. Keep it running, keep it spicy for those that are watching. I appreciate everybody that's watching. I do appreciate y'all. It doesn't go unnoticed. But once again, like we talk about broken homes, what is your definition of a broken home? Did you come from a broken home? Were you raised by both parents, single parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles? You feel me? There's a lot of ways that a broken home could be, introduced to a kid. How does that affect you growing up if you were only raised by one parent? Because if you was only raised by your mom and you're a male, there's only certain things that your mom can teach you, and most of the time you're gonna be learning the rest from like maybe your uncles, if you got any older cousins or a brother. And sometimes you're gonna be, learning it from the streets, and that's how you get into trouble. So that's why I want to get into these topics, because it goes deep. It could go deep with these topics coming from a broken home, because everything starts from the home. Everything starts from the home. That's why you get a lot of these cycles that go shoot people up because of their upbringing. It comes from the home. That's why I wanted to touch base on this. Just like that shooting that just happened in Buffalo. That's you really gotta check that. That guy's his upbringing from his home. He didn't get that just from anywhere. He probably got that racism stuff from his own family, from his mom and dad. How his upbringing is. That's why I said it starts from the home. Maybe he didn't have his dad. Maybe he got that from his mom's side or something. We don't really know nobody's upbringing unless their story is told and we know. So that's why I wanted to touch base about family structure, because family structure goes a long way. Yeah. This is the comment section actually, so you just write it here. You feel me? You also can hop on the panel. I know you are driving, but I do have the panel too where people can hop on, and there's a StreamYard key inside of the comment section where people you could just hop on the panel with me and pretty much, do what I'm doing right now where you're just talking. If you couldn't type, some people don't want to hop on the camera. You do not have to be cammed up. As you can see right now, I'm not cammed up because I'm not really feeling it today to be cammed up, but I will hop in and out the camera once I get more, more of an audience. I will hop in and out the camera more. But yeah, that's where you write it. That is the comments. I appreciate you for commenting and tuning in, and hopefully in the next couple of minutes I get more of a show going and I can get more deep into the content of what I'm talking about. Because what I'm talking about goes deep. It goes deep. But I need more people to tune in and type in and leave their comments and their opinions on it. Because I said once again, this platform is about opinions. That's how I run this podcast. I run this podcast for people to open up. Don't be afraid to tap in. Don't be afraid to hit that StreamYard key to hop in the panel. Don't be afraid to hop in the comment section. You feel me? So, I leave it open for, basically the crowd to hop in and get their input. That's how I run this podcast. A lot of people don't run their podcast like that where they get people the key to hop on, but I do. This is about people's opinions and the people that follow you and support you. That's what you want to do. You want people to hop on and give their opinions and keep it spicy. So that's what I do on this platform, and I'm always going to have good content. Today we're talking about family structure, and I'm trying to get deep into why people act a certain way. A lot of their mannerisms and stuff, it's really how they grew up. That's where it starts from. And some people didn't grow up with both parents. Some people did grow up with both parents, and growing up with both parents don't mean that you're going to grow up and be a doctor. You feel me? There's a lot of screw ups that grew up with both parents that still screw ups, that still become killers and stuff like that. And what is the reason why? Yeah, you can hop on without no camera. Like, just hit that StreamYard key that's inside the comments. It's under my name, Jersey Rich. It's a StreamYard key. You hit that StreamYard key, you hop on, and you get a choice of being cammed up or no camera. You put no camera, it's just your audio is going to play. Just basically what I'm doing right now. It'll just be like a picture playing on you, or it might not be no picture. It just be your audio playing. So you don't, I get a lot of people that's probably going to hop in throughout the show, and they're not going to be cammed up. As you want to see right now, I'm cammed up right now. I'm just showing people I could be cammed up, or you don't have to be cammed up. Right now, even myself, I'm not really into being cammed up at the moment right now. Unless I get more people watching me, they want to see my face, then I'll cam up. But right now, it's just about people's opinions right now about family structure and why you think people act the way they do. Even when it comes to cycles or that shouldn't happen in New York, it becomes people's upbringing is the start of it. And some people were raised with both parents and still became psychos and killers. And let's get to the subject of why that happens. Sorry, my voice is a little chopped up. That's why I'm a little under the weather myself. Got a little cold again, so that's why I'm not really cammed up. I'm not feeling it, but I told myself I still run the show. The show must go on. But definitely, people's opinions is what keeps this podcast going. Yeah, I can ramble on about a lot of effects that happens with the kids growing up and how it affects the kids. I got to lead a lot of keynotes about the family structure, the tension inside the house, and people getting raised by their grandparents. The grandparents may be too old to keep their eyes on the kids, and then you end up running the streets. You feel me? It's a lot of ways that this could go into. Me coming from my own personal thing, I grew up with both my parents for a little bit of time, in and out my life. I have both my parents, but I did grow up with my grandparents for a little bit of my life. I lived with my dad for a little bit of my life and my mom. So I lived, my life changed a little bit. Off and on, my life changed, and I don't know if everybody else had a lifestyle like I had, where I bounced around for quite a bit, for a little bit of my younger life. Live with mom and dad, then maybe the grandparents for a little bit, then back with the mom, back with the dad. What I mean, at the same time. So my household changed, and then growing up a little older, both parents split up and things like that. So things happen for the best sometimes. You feel me? Sometimes your parents being together is not the best. Sometimes your parents being together can cause your life to be more hell, to be honest. It's not always having both parents can make you a better person, in my opinion. Because you can live in a household when there's a lot of violence and fights and curse and the cops getting called, and that I wouldn't agree that that's the best part, to have both your parents. You feel me? But yeah, definitely want to hit that StreamYard key if you're not afraid to hop on the panel. The StreamYard key inside the comments. I bring you on the panel. You can discuss this with me. Hop on. You good, actually. I mean, I don't know what you need a password for. You should just be able to hop on. I mean, you're commenting on here, so you're definitely on the YouTube. There's a comment key with the StreamYard key on, and you're able to, just hit that button, and I'm able to just to bring you on live with me. Trying to get more people to tap in. I got time. I still got some time. I'll be on for a little bit. Sometimes it takes time for people to tune in and tap in, but I'm here. We are talking about family structure. What's the difference with growing up with both parents and growing up with just a single parent? How does that affect you growing up? What is the definition of family structure? Let's keep it going, keep it spicy. Don't be afraid to comment. Don't be afraid to hop on that panel with your boy. You feel me? I will bring you up. We can have this discussion of how you grew up, you know, the goods and the bad about it. We're still sharing this to certain people right now. Some people don't know I'm live because it doesn't show up on their feed. So I'm just gonna tell people I'm live and tap in. And people like, damn, I always miss you live. I'm like, yeah, I've been trying to tell you I'm live. But with this goes, this is definitely a show where I'm going to need people's opinions. The show wouldn't really run right without it. You feel me? It wouldn't really run smoothly without people's opinions on it. People's opinions is what keeps this, this podcast going and this show going, because this is a good ass topic, and this could definitely go into the way people grew up, the way you look at life, the way you look at relationships. There's a lot of ways that family structure goes into the, your daily living. Don't be afraid to hop on. Don't be afraid to hop on with your boy. Do not be afraid. So I know a lot of people be afraid. I'm just telling people I'm tap in, tune in with your boy. We're still telling more people to tap in, tune in. After a while, we like, all right, whatever. Yes, but I'm still here, y'all. I'm still here. Just waiting for more people to tune in. I do have a lot of people that watch me that's from a different coast. So, they're on a different time frame. So people that's watching me that's from California that usually watch me, their time frame is a lot different than ours. They're a couple hours behind. So, sometimes I gotta wait. I might, I would like to get a good audience in here and get a good time where I should start the show. Everybody has different opinions and what time I should start the show. Maybe I should start it at 1 o'clock. Maybe I should start it at 12:30. Maybe I start the show a little too earlier. So, like I said, I leave it open for that for the people always discuss and help me out. Figure stuff out. You feel me? It's a team effort. That's why I got the bricks behind me, because it's a team effort. What I mean? So I keep the conversation going, and what I feel like family structure is, and I don't feel like a family structure really means that you have to have both parents. Both parents doesn't mean that you're not gonna grow up to be a killer or a psycho. For one thing, you can still grow up and be a real bad person growing up with both parents, and especially if you don't have good guidance from both parents. You having both parents doesn't mean you're gonna have good guidance. Sometimes you could get good guidance just for having one parent. But I do feel like you definitely gonna need people's opinion from the opposite sex. So your mom might for your mom raising like a male, for instance, your mom might not can give you all the advice, of raising a man, but she can give you some from her point of view. Like I said, I'll be on here for a little bit. I'm not gonna run this show too long. I go like where the crowd goes. That's how I run it. People's opinions is what keeps this podcast going. But we definitely do got a good topic: broken homes, fighting, violence, having both parents in the household. Does that really matter? Can you grow up just with one? Can you grow up with neither of your parents? Let's talk about it. Some people grow up with neither of their parents and still, grow up to be a doctor, a cop, a lawyer. You feel me? So, in my opinion, it doesn't matter who you grew up with as long as you have good guidance. I feel like that's where the family structure comes from. Is having good guidance. You definitely want to have good guidance. Guidance is what keeps you going. That's what keeps your family going when you have kids on your own, and you got to have good advice to pass on to your own kids. Definitely communication inside the house. Because a broken home could be anywhere. A broken home could be in the projects. It could be if you live in a mansion. You poor, you rich. You know what I mean? Broken home doesn't necessarily mean you're poor. It doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have your mom or dad. That's not really what a broken home is. Because you could come from a good upbringing and not be, raised by neither of your parents. I mean, traditionally, yeah, we want to be raised by mom and father, yes, but it don't always work. It don't always work out like that. time. You got to look at why and different people's opinions on why that happens. You know what I mean? Because you can grow up with your grandparents and still grow up to be successful, but I feel like you're always going to have that hurt in your heart, or not growing up with your parents, or figuring out why. Everybody grew up different. That's why this, having people's opinions is what keeps this platform going, because we all grew up different. I didn't grow up the same as you, didn't grow up the same as me. So having people's opinions on this platform will keep the platform moving and going, and and hopping in conversations, and learning, the way people grew up matters, and you could get different advice from people's background. Everybody has a different background. We all have a different makeup. You feel me? That's what we're meant to. You got to go through certain things in life to be who you are right now. So do you feel like what you going through right now, made you a good person? Like everything you went through as a kid made you a good person now? Some people don't see it that way. Some people life, they feel like it made them worser, alcoholic, depending on how you grew up. You feel me? It all depends how your family structure was, of how you would grow up and how you look at your own family, not how you will raise your own kids. Is how it goes. Definitely hit that like button. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, but family structure goes a long way. Like I said, you got a lot of cycles that were raised by two parents, and they still grew up to be a cycle. So does sorry about that. So does having a broken family, coming from a broken home, means you don't have both your parents? Because I just broke down like why reasons of why that really doesn't matter of having both parents. Because you can be raised, you just gotta have good guidance. Basically, if you're raised with your aunties and your let's say your older sibling raised you, as long as you have good structure in your family, then you'll be a good person. Doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have both parents, or you both your parents divorced, or you're raised by one parent. You feel me? But I definitely want to get into details about people that was raised by one parent. Getting raised by one parent makes a big difference a big difference in your life. Okay, but actually I want to tap in.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what do you do, Ashley? How you doing? It's good.
I'm doing all right. I'm going around. I'm on my way to the mountains right now.
Damn, what you doing over there?
Trying to get this hike in.
Dang, by
Me and
yourself?
this friend of me and my friend, like we've been hiking. Well, he's a hiker, and he got me out here in the woods with these fucking rattlesnakes.
Yeah, I know
I
about the
actually
snakes.
seen a rattlesnake the other day too. It's crazy.
Man, you know how I know. I'm in Florida, so all them snakes and weird mosquitoes and all them birds and all that weird stuff down here. I definitely can adapt to hiking now, because I'm always around these weird animals living over here in Florida.
Man, shit is crazy.
Yeah, but it's good to hear. It's good to hear your voice. Like I be getting actually a lot of people from like that grew up with us be hopping in my lives in and out. Like Jay Mills hop in. I might get Phoenix hop in. My boy Tasheem Dennis. So I get a few people that grew up with us. From the school years that hop in my lives, and a lot of people feel like it's interesting that I get people that I open up my podcast to other people. They have,
That's what's up. Yeah, I know. I clicked the link a couple of times, but you ain't start yet. So I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like,
I
and I
was
always forget.
Yeah, because I was debating if I was gonna start the live or not. Because I wasn't feeling it, because I didn't really promote this live. I'm like, I don't really feel like doing this live. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm just not gonna be on too long and see who tunes in, and I'll keep it going. 'Cause it's good. It's a good topic. I might actually have to continue the topic, because I definitely want to get into like the family structure and how people grew up. And I know some people didn't grow up with both their parents. And I'm just want to get in deep into like how that affected people that didn't grow up with both their parents.
Right, right. Honestly, I don't even know where to start, but I grew up with my mom and my stepfather,
Okay.
and that my stepfather was kind of hands on, so
Hands
a
on, like
little,
meaning like discipline wise.
huh?
Hands on meaning like discipline.
Yeah, like he used to be a little abusive. Um, I don't know. I guess it's I don't know. It might have been the way he was raised. I have no idea. I feel like he was more abusive to me and my older sisters than he
Mm-hmm.
was to his own kids. Not saying that he didn't, put hands on them either, but it just didn't seem the same. It'll be
Okay,
any
so you
little
feel
thing
like,
for us.
okay, so you feel like a little bit you might have been like a little bit mistreated by him a little bit.
Yeah. And I wish I can bring my sisters on because I feel like they all have like their own different, like,
Oh yeah, well I could definitely do a part two to this because I feel like this
yeah,
might not be the best day for it. So I could definitely pick another day and have more people tune in because I feel like this is a topic that could go on for hours. Really, it's a perfect topic. Everybody grew up different, and some people just want to come
and
and
because I feel
express
like my
themselves.
sisters have, or because I feel like my sister has complete different opinions. Like two of them
Mm-hmm.
left. I feel like my older sister felt like she was kind of kicked out or whatever. She left when she was 16. And
Gotcha.
then the one right above me, she did her little ran away stunt and then wound up staying with the minister of our church and also one of our teachers, well, one of her teachers, because I never had him. He
Yeah.
tried to adopt her or something like that. It was just crazy. I guess she felt like she wasn't getting attention either. I stood there the whole time. It'll be little things like I know one time I woke up and I seen all my little sisters in the room in my mom's room, and I went to go get them out, and just so happened they walk in the door, and he put his hands on me, but it was
Mm.
cool. He's got weak punches anyways.
Dang, so he threw punches. So that's really being real
Okay,
abusive.
I'm not doing punches. There might have been some slaps or whatever. I don't even
Okay.
remember.
Yeah, he must have been real young. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody like grew up different. Everybody has to, like you said, your sisters might have a different opinion about how you grew up. Everybody has a different vision, especially how young you was. Like you said, it might have been punches, it might have been slaps. Like I said, everybody has a different opinion of how they grew up. Like you said, you grew up with your mom and your stepdad. Some people didn't grow up with their
Yeah.
parents at all. So
Well, it was like a bunch of different experiences because like my mom, she was addicted at one point,
mm,
and we were taken away, and me and my sister was staying. Me and one of my sisters was staying with my aunt and uncle. I
mm,
think a couple was staying with my other aunt, my grandmother. Like we were always with family though. So, but we still was all kind of separated.
yeah.
Um, But yeah, my mom did have that problem where she went through her addiction and got us taken away. She overcame it though.
Oh wow.
For the most part, she was a good mom. Like you don't realize until you're older, like just how good of a mom she actually was. And for a woman battling addiction like that and overcoming it and dealing with 8 kids,
Yeah, that's a
it's
lot.
amazing.
Yes, and once again, I want to say, my condolences to your family. I know your mom, the passing of your mom. Sorry to hear about all that stuff I've seen.
Yeah, thank you.
I know
Yeah, it's,
that's
it's,
really
it's
tough,
been really
That's a really
hard.
tough thing, and that's another thing, a reason why family starts to go deep too, because I have cousins that lost their parents young, and you get separated from your siblings, and you gotta grow up with your mom, you gotta grow up with even the dad, and everybody has a different opinion about how they grew up. Just like my siblings, like my sister, Tina, she might have the way we grew up, she might look at it different than the way I look at it. She might look at her life as a
Right.
little rougher than mine, coming from a female standpoint than what it was, because I was the one that protected my mom mostly, but my mom and dad split up, and my mom was out running around doing what she was doing. I was the guy that I was like the teenager that protected my mom from trouble. So anytime my mom had problems, and she was running in and out of bars, I was the one she called, and I was the one fighting older guys. And it's a lot of stories that a lot of people that grow up and don't know, like how my life was. And like I said, we all got our own life where you'd be surprised. Damn, you grew up like that. You'd be surprised at how people grew up.
Right. Right. It's like,
Everybody,
and I am surprised that you told me that. I mean, I met your mother, and
yeah. Yeah, so
I didn't know
so
what that was.
you knew me for a long time, actually. You feel me? You knew me for a long time. I forget how many years, but
Yeah. Yeah.
you knew me, for a long time.
She was
We got a
sweet.
little bit of history.
Underneath all that, she was like a real good, sweet person. She just had her
Yeah,
moments, I guess you could say.
yeah. My mom different, so my lifestyle was a little different. Me, like
Yeah.
You know
It
me,
was
like I'm
hard to
really
say
from East
because she
Orange,
came over
Elizabeth.
there, man.
Yeah, my mom was different. My mom was different. She's a little better now. She got older, but yeah, back then especially younger than before you met me, man, my life was, crazy. You know,
Right.
I was lucky to have both my parents a little bit in my life, when they were together, but them being together was actually toxic. I feel like my parents being together, my life might have been worse if they would have stayed together because there was a lot of violence. I've been around a lot of violence growing up, and I feel like a lot of people can relate
Yeah.
to a lot of
I
abuse from both sides. From my
my
dad, but
parents
mostly from
were
my
together. My oldest sister,
mm,
he was a who? Like crazy stories. Like supposedly a kingpin at one point. I don't know. My father, I think he used to spoil us, and my mom didn't like that. I don't know. It's a lot of
yeah,
different stories. It sounds like it's a good thing they weren't together. And my stepfather, I think we just misunderstood him. Yeah, he was abusive and all that, but he did stick around. He did take care of us, and I think we
mm,
just misunderstood because it could have been so much worse than what it was.
yeah,
And I know that.
yeah, exactly.
And I think it was just misunderstanding, and he don't know how to be a father. Like even still to this day, he kind of struggles. But
Yeah,
my sisters try to make the connection as much as they could for him. I think I
yeah,
missed
and
my
you're
phone.
right. Like you said before, that might have been the way he grew up. Maybe he didn't grow up right, and he grew up with people putting their hands on him. So he figured whatever happened to you, that's the way you're supposed to raise your kids. So if you got abused and you got beat a lot, okay, well, I guess if you get angry with your kids, that's what you're supposed to do. So that's why I was,
Yeah.
I'm touch on some of this stuff because that happens too. When people drink, I come from a family of people that drunk a
Oh
lot.
yeah, he's a big drinker.
Yeah, that plays a big part of the way you grow up, being around a lot of drugs and people with liquor, and because liquor just changed the whole. Even if you're a sweet person, once you get some liquor in you, that changes your whole the way you is. You're not the same
Oh
person no more.
yeah, he definitely was on.
You
Yes,
jack on
he was
high,
a nasty drunk.
yeah. So I've been around nasty drunks. Even my mom, she had a little drinking issue, and she'd be the sweetest person. Once she drank, the
Oh
whole house
no,
would change.
I'm getting closer to the mountain, so if I lose you, because I hear it going in and out already, just
Yeah,
know that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
it
You're
is.
fine. I'm just
And
thankful for
hopefully
you
we'll
being
have
man.
a part two.
Nah, I definitely know how it
But
goes
I'm
because
gonna
yeah, sometimes,
until we can.
yeah, I know how it goes. But I'm just, I'm just thankful and I'm blessed for you even tapping in. That means a lot. Showing love to the platform, I appreciate it.
Of course,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I really want to talk about it. It's just I really don't know where to start because it goes like deeper than everything. Like there
Yeah, like
was
I
a
said, I
time
can always make
where
a part two to
people
this. I
are.
can get with people.
Yeah, you definitely have to. I'm gonna see if my sisters want to tap in because I know they
Definitely,
have a whole different perspective on
definitely,
everything
definitely,
that happened, everything that went down, why they feel like they had a lead, and why I
definitely. I
stood.
love to hear your
But
sister's
actually, I
opinion.
don't know why I stood.
Yeah, I
I had
definitely love
nowhere
to
to
hear
go.
your opinion. I probably might do a part two because I usually have co-hosts to hop on and they keep the conversation more spicy. So I feel like next Sunday, I should have really rescheduled this show to next Sunday. Next Sunday, I might replay this show for the part two on this show because if you could get your sisters on here next week or something like that, wherever they're free, I'd be thankful because I definitely
Yeah,
want
I'm
to
gonna talk to them.
facts, facts, facts. I definitely want to have people's opinions and.
Oh, one of them. Yeah, I know the one right above me. I know she probably will be interested because, like, me and her actually talked about starting a podcast one time. And
Okay.
she's being real enthused about it. So if she's enthused about starting a podcast, she probably don't mind coming onto one and talking about anything.
Yeah, so
So
that's
I'm
what
definitely
this.
this one that she gotta find time because she a busy woman, you know.
Oh yeah, I know how it goes. You know what I mean? So I make the time, whatever the time is, you just let me know the time, and I can always do this. You feel me? I control all of this, so just let me know the best times,
Right,
and I'll
right,
make that time happen. Definitely.
right. So
I definitely.
but my experience so far with me and my stepdad, like growing up, I feel like he's definitely the authority figure and everything, wanting
Mm-hmm.
us to do everything and whatnot. I guess he never made us bleed or leave any marks on us, so it probably wasn't hitting us that hard. But
Yeah.
most of the time, it's because we didn't do something or whatnot. And when he's
Yeah.
drunk, I feel like it was mostly he put his hands on my mom, but I don't know. Sometimes I really want to talk to him about it because he mentioned one time like he's like, I never put your hands on your mom, and it's like I feel like we might have seen it in a different perspective because all we hear is our mom yelling, and it looks like he's like over her, on top of her, or whatever, and we all just jump on him immediately. Me and my sister and play. We used to jump in there, like, you know. But he just, yeah, like, I forgot what conversation it was, but he mentioned how he never hit my mom. We looked at him like, what? And I know there was a time where she was addicted to drugs. Like, she's been addicted to crack. She's been addicted to, I think, heroin. I'm not sure. Whatever you put the burn the spoon or whatever that is.
Yeah.
She was on that too. But way in the back of the day, it was crack. And I don't know if we mislooked at it, like we mistook it for he was hitting her. He probably was trying to stop her because it sounded like he said something about he was always battling with her to get her clean and to stop her from harming herself. So I feel like, you know, we didn't really see right. We just seen my stepfather and my mom on the floor, and we attacked. you know, so it's definitely there was no communication whatsoever. My stepdad was the type of dad to just sit around, drink his beer, my mom said clean up your room, he enforced that.
Okay.
He didn't make a bond with anyone. Like, you know, my younger sisters got older, they took it upon themselves to try to make a bond with him. But like as me and my older sisters, we was like, whatever, stepdad, you don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and, you know, I think we might have mislooked at that, but I mean, I don't know if that's really a broken home. It sounds like broken pieces for sure.
Yeah, I feel like everybody, I could definitely relate when it comes to that.
Yeah, it was just crazy. It's like we don't know what to really expect, and because no communication, we don't know what really went down. All I know is my experience, and my experience is sometimes he got a little too handsy. Like if I didn't turn the computer off, damn it, I freaking coffee just spilled everywhere. There was this one time thing. And I know he pulled me by my hair to get me out of the chair.
Oh wow!
And I was like, bro, it gotta close down. Like I gotta press buttons to turn it off, man.
Yeah.
You know, like and I feel like my mom always used to stick up for him. Like he was always right, I was always wrong. Like there's times I tried to like call the cops on him just cause, and she'd be like taking the phone like no. But I don't know.
That's how people grow up. You know what I mean? Like, especially looking when you got looking.
For these people nowadays, they need that.
Exactly. These kids nowadays definitely do that. They need the discipline. I feel like a lot of the parents around our age, we got a little softer, but I ain't really soft like that with my son. I try my best to discipline him and put him in line when he's out, or even though he's 3 years old. But I try my best. I definitely be thinking
right. But I don't know, like. I think it was just the drunk times that was just out of line, and the other times was just discipline. Because I know my grandmother, she used to do the same. Well, not do the same thing. She used to, if we don't listen and we get in trouble, that's when we had to go down the street and get a switch, or get a room.
Switches, that's a little like after our time. A little before our time. I mean, that's a little before our time. Switches, you still get switches? Dang.
Like, oh my grandmother. Right. I never claimed that my grandma was abusive. So it's like, I don't know. I think it's just a different look. I guess it's because he's there all the time. He's not your real dad. I don't know. It's just emotions all over the place.
Wow, that's old school, right? That's definitely old school. I got hit with shoes and stuff like that, and belts and stuff like that. But
my grandma did not play. She was a church woman, but she did not play. My aunt did not play. My aunt came out with rulers and everything. I was like, whoop. That was
Yeah,
the
that's what
black
I'm
side.
saying. You
Like
know.
I don't grow up with my Spanish side, so I can't even tell what they was gonna do.
Oh yeah, shit, man. Busting your head open with stuff, man. I know how Spanish people is. Trust me, I know how it is to live with them and all that stuff. So yeah, that definitely would have been a different experience. So everybody has different experiences. The way they grew up, everybody's family structure is way different, and family structure doesn't mean both parents being divorced. Like you said, you could have a man and a woman in a male figure inside the house and still go through problems and still look at things different and still affects you once you get older too. So I guess the
Right.
way we grow up does affect the way we are as an adult. Because I know some of the ways that affected me when they came to certain things. I grew up where I look at things a lot different, and they changed the way I raised my kid. And I look at things. Maybe I should do this different now. I don't want to go down the same path my parents did. So I look at a lot of different things, family structure. So this is definitely a conversation. I'm definitely gonna have to make a part two of it, so I can get more people with intakes and have more people tune in. So I'm probably gonna make a part two. When maybe next week. When next
Yeah,
episode.
maybe one day when I'm not headed to the mountains.
Yeah, we got to like to see what you're doing next. Next week, whatever. Next week. Like,
In there already. I was like bullshitting today.
oh yeah, I know how it goes. That's I wasn't even gonna really run this podcast today. I was gonna actually cancel it for next week anyway. My co-host couldn't be on, so I'm like, man, I shouldn't do it. I'm like, no, I'm just gonna do it anyway to see who tune in. I could get a couple conversations going. So now I kind of, you telling me what you're telling makes me want to go deeper with it. Because I'm like, okay, it's more stuff that I didn't touch base on. And when it goes deeper, coming from like
Absolutely.
having like having step parents and stuff like that, or getting abused, what I mean, that's that definitely changes the family dynamic. So it's a lot of things that this conversation could go on for, this could go on for hours, definitely.
Yeah, it definitely can. It definitely can. Sure, me and my sisters combined might be days.
Hey, I got days to tell you know what I mean, and I can have up to like 10 people on this
One,
platform, and
definitely had to chop it up.
definitely, I got the platform, and I can have up to like 10 guests on here, and this is why I made the platform for people. I also do Thursdays and Fridays. I do vent and chill when people just could come and express themselves, come vent, chill, talk, whatever. That's starting to get catchy. Then Sundays is where I do my real podcast show where I have like deep topics like family structure, and I got a lot of different topics I'm gonna be touching on. So you definitely stay tuned to this. My platform, this podcast is still very new. I'm just now really starting doing the podcast, so I've only been doing this for the last couple of weeks, so it's still very new. So it's starting to get catchy to
Oh,
people.
really? Ooh. Yeah, my thing's cutting in and out. So
Yeah,
if
but
I
yeah, you go
out
ahead,
right now,
Ashley.
I'm going to continue listening as much as I could until it cuts all the way out.
Yeah,
But it
yeah,
was
yeah.
good
You go ahead,
tuning in.
Ashley. I
Hopefully,
appreciate you for
this
tapping
soon.
in. All right, no doubt. All right.
I don't even know how to cut this off.
Yeah, you just need to tap it out. You should just
Oh, okay, I see it.
all right.
All right,
Thanks,
peace.
Ashley. Yeah, that was Ashley. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tapping in. You gave me some good opinions of how I should run this, and different opinions about how people grew up. Like I said, everybody grew up different. Some people grew up with step parents that maybe they were abusive in their eyes, and maybe your siblings look at it different than what you look at it. That's another way. You know, that's another way people look at it. Your siblings might look at things a lot different than the way you look at things. You feel me? Maybe you feel like you grew up way worse than what you really did, or some of your siblings say, hey, it wasn't that bad in my eyes. So everybody has their different opinions. Even your siblings that grew up in the same household as you has a way different opinion than you do. So that goes a long way. Like I was saying before, I'm definitely going to do a part two to this. I'm definitely gonna run a part two to this because like this goes definitely deep, and anybody else that want to time in and tap in, just like Ashley did, if you want to hit that StreamYard key, we talked about family structure. Definitely hit that StreamYard key if you want to hop on. Leave your comments below what you think family structure is. But I'm definitely gonna make a part two to this because this can go like for hours. Like Ashley said, this can go for days, hours. You feel me? We could definitely get this going. I really wasn't gonna run this podcast today because my co-hosts and things they're not really tapped in, tuned in like that today. But definitely next week, next week is definitely gonna be lit. I'm definitely gonna make this lit. I'm definitely gonna put this out there, podcast this more, get more people to tune in, tap in. Like I said before, this is how this podcast runs. This runs off people's opinions. That's what this podcast is all about. This podcast is not really for me to talk and for me to time in and talk to myself and stuff like this. This podcast is for people to tune in, give you opinions. Every show I do on Sundays, or even when I do my Thursdays and Fridays, chill and vent, it's for people to come vent and chill. Sundays I do big topics like this, family structure, and this is people's opinions for people to tap in. So my podcast is for to interact with people, so people to tap in and tune in, and connect. That's what my podcast is for. And I'm definitely gonna make a part 2 to this podcast because this is definitely going for hours. I definitely want to hear more about different ways people grew up. Your idea, what you think family structure is. Because I want to get more people to tap in and tune in the comments, more people to tap in and time in and hit that StreamYard key if you want to hop on. You feel me? Because a lot of people grew up different, and I like to hear people's upbringings and opinions of how they grew up. You know what I mean? People's advice, and even different nationalities grew up different. You feel me? So you never know how somebody. Damn, you went through that. You'd be surprised what people went through, or how people look at what family structure really is. Because in my eyes, like I said, family structure has something to do with your parents being divorced. You can never live with none of your parents or knew your parents. You feel me? You can live with your grandparents, grew up with your aunties, your aunts. You grew up with one of your older siblings that raised you. And then you end up running the streets and learning it that way. Sometimes you grew up with people that wasn't your family at all. Sometimes you got adopted. So everybody grew up different. I'm just trying to get people's, different opinions on how they grew up. That's what this platform is. So I'm definitely gonna make a part 2 to the family structure. I have to make a part 2 to this because this is going for hours. I definitely want to love to hear how more people that follow this page, audience, how they grew up, because it's definitely interesting. And you'd be surprised how people grew up. You'd be like, damn, you grew up like that. I never knew that about you, and I knew you for years. Some people like experience it like alcoholism and drugs and abused. Maybe you got touched as a kid. That's stuff that you don't really have to talk about on this platform, but maybe that might have happened to you. But this platform is definitely to open up, and get people eyes open up about how they grew up and the way they view life now and the things they experienced as a kid. How did it change them now as an adult? Like I said, this conversation going for hours and hours. I can keep this conversation going. Once I get more people to tap in and tune in, this it can easily be a 2-hour show. I'm not gonna stay on too long because I'm running it by myself. You feel me? And I need more people to tune in and tap in. That's how I run this platform. Once again, if you didn't already, please hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It definitely helps out the page a whole lot. Definitely will appreciate it. But yeah, I'm live at least Thursdays and Fridays. It's my come event and chill. We can talk about anything you want, any topic, what's going on in the world, what's going on in your life. Thursdays and Fridays around 8 p.m. I would say I do vent and chill Thursdays and Fridays. Sundays around 12 noon, 12:30 noon. I might actually change the time to a later time so I can get more people to tune in. Maybe 12:30 noon. I might start the show off and maybe get more people to tune in later on. I know a lot of people are on different time frames, but I would definitely love to get more people tuned in and tapped in with this. You know what I mean? And that's what this platform is here for. Some people might not be, afraid to start their own podcast, but I got the door open. I got the StreamYard key for anybody that wants to hop on to get their name out there. That's what this is for. It's for helping people out, expressing how you feel about different subjects. You know what I mean? We just here, we family. We come on this platform and we talk. That's what we do on here. I want people to be afraid. Nobody's here to judge you about anything. I don't really play down this platform. I will block people, delete messages, all that stuff. I'm like my own mob when it comes to everything right now. So I don't really play with anybody. You ain't got to worry about getting bashed or feeling bad or, be afraid to talk. You know what I mean? Because, you're safe on this platform right here. And I'll put that on everything. I promise you're safe on this platform to talk about what you want to talk about. Yeah, but I haven't had a lot of people watching me today, but I wish it still was a successful show. But I'm definitely gonna make a part 2 to this show. Definitely have to. I definitely want to get more people's opinions on what family structure is to you. Actually tapping in, gave me a lot of the opinions of how I different questions and stuff like that. So I'm definitely thankful for Ashley for hopping in. Anybody else that wants to hop in and hit that StreamYard key and give you advice of what family structure is to you. Did you grow up with both of your parents? Did you grow up with your grandparents? You know what I mean? Did you grow up in the streets? Everybody grew up different. So I just want to get people's opinions on what they think family structure is. That's what we're talking about. But I'm definitely gonna make a part 2. Hopefully next week, if I can make a part 2 and get more people to time in and tap in around 12:30 noon next Sunday, I'm probably gonna make a part 2 to this because I definitely want to get more people's opinions, not just one person, not just 2 people's opinions. I want to get a whole bunch of people's opinions in the comments. I want to get more people comfortable with hopping on StreamYard key. It's just definitely something interesting. I'm always going to have good topics every Sunday, even Thursday and Friday. Thursdays and Fridays are my come vent and chill. Come vent and chill. Hopefully that gets catchy on Thursdays. Come vent and chill Thursdays. Get stuff off your chest and get stuff off your chest and come vent with your boy and talk. Sundays is my my real podcast show when I got good topics, and I'm always going to have good topics. It's always going to be spicy, but it takes a team of people to keep the conversation going. Family structure is something that could go on for hours and days and weeks. This is something I can make a part 2, 3, 4, or what I mean? Because you'd be surprised how people grew up, and some stuff might make you cry, when you hear people's stories. That's basically why I make this platform. I want people to be okay with expressing their stories, how they grew up, like Ashley did. You got feel me? She came on this platform and she gave a little rundown how she grew up. I gave a little rundown how I grew up. So I want people to be okay with expressing how they grew up and don't be ashamed of how you grew up. We all grew up different. Not everybody grew up perfect. Family structure doesn't mean that you from the projects or you live in the mansion. It doesn't mean that your upbringing, how what household you family got money has nothing to do with that. Has to do with your upbringing and who's the people that gave you the upbringing, who was your people around you, who was the adults around you as when you were a kid, and that changed the way you are an adult right now. So we just tapping in and timing in and stuff like that. Anybody else want to give their opinions, put that in the comments below. Hop that StreamYard key if you want to hop on the panel with your boy. And if not, in a couple of minutes I'll probably end this and then probably start a part 2 probably next Sunday where I got my co-host on here and I get more people on schedule to hop in and out the stream with me on the panels. What I'm looking for really to keep this going. I think, like you said, like I've been running this for like over an hour myself, so I definitely can run it like an hour myself. I definitely can keep the platform running, but the platform runs better. I get people to tap in and tune in with your boy. That's how the platform grows, and people interact with the platform and stuff like that. But I'm here. Anybody else want to hop in? That StreamYard keys in the comments below. Don't be afraid to put your opinions about what you feel family structure is, how you grew up. Everybody grew up different. Everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has a unique story to tell. Everybody has a story to tell. And I'm here to listen to your story. We here to listen. You feel me? Like I said, I get a lot of replays. A lot of people come back and replay my videos back. So, we're going to get a lot of people's opinions after I end this live too. So definitely be mindful about that. I definitely want to hear more people how they grew up, what you feel a broken home really is, the definition of it. That you experienced violence, drinking, drugs, growing up. What did you experience from your parents? What did you experience? Was the communication off? Did you feel like you could talk to your parents? Like there's a lot of ways we could go into this. There's a lot of ways. Were you abused? Were you mistreated? Were your siblings treated different than you? There's a lot of ways we could go into this. Were you raised by just one parent? Does it matter if you got raised by one parent? What's the difference with getting raised by one parent? You feel me? Like, man, let's go deep. There's a lot of ways we could go deep with this. Were you raised by your grandparents? Were you a youth that ran the streets and you learned from the streets and the streets taught you? Were you somebody that got locked up and you getting locked up was the reason because your family structure was not there? You know what I mean? You didn't have adults that was really present in your life. So a lot of things make sense to how we grow up and it makes sense to how people become criminals and maybe gang members and things like that because of their family structure. Because you can have both of your parents and still grow up crooked. Like there's a lot of killers out there in this world that have both their parents. They came from a good upbringing family, but they were still crazy. So I'm saying like you can still have a messed up family structure even if you got both parents. I'm just wanting more people to tap in and chime in and give your advice. And, hopefully I'm definitely going to make a part two to this because, this definitely could go on. I definitely want to hear more people's stories. It's like storytelling right here. People expressing how people not being afraid to tell how they grew up. We get one life, so sometimes it's okay to express yourself. You feel me? You don't gotta tell your whole life story, but if you get a little brief to it, that might can open up a lot of people's eyes. That might, you might give somebody encouragement to open up about how they grew up and get some stuff off their chest. That's why I made this platform. This platform is to help people get stuff off their chest and not be afraid to hop on and talk. I used to be shy when I was younger. As you can see, I'm really not shy to hop on. I'm not shy to talk to people. I'm not shy to give advice or interview people. I changed throughout the years, and you feel me? Life changes you once you get older. You feel me? Like you might start off as a real quiet person. You end up being one of the loudest persons in the room once you get older. Things change. People change. But this platform is definitely for the people, people's opinions. Definitely gonna make a part two to this because I love to hear people's other stories. Because you'd be surprised at how other people grew up. You never know if somebody got abused. You're like, damn, I knew this person like my whole life. I never knew you got abused. I never know that's how your parents were when I wasn't around. And I never knew like people downed you. Do you feel like you got downed as a kid? Did people down you and make you feel like you was less than a person and stuff like that? Were you somebody that was locked in a room and everybody grew up different? You'd be surprised. Some people was locked in rooms and couldn't get out the room. Some people was chained up. You never, man, shit. You never know you never know somebody's story until they tell it. So some people been stabbed by their parents. Some people been shot by their parents and killed by their parents. Some people see their parents rape their other siblings and stuff like that. Some people were starved to death. You know what I mean? There's a lot of there's a lot of people that was adopted that's been abused by the adopted family. You feel me? I want to talk to some people that were adopted and that I want to talk to some people that wasn't raised by their parents at all. And their opinions about not being raised by their parents and how they affected their life. So yeah, this definitely gonna make a part two to this, definitely. And then leave that in the comments if you think I should make a part two to this, because I definitely want to get more people's opinions about how they grew up. Because it's definitely something that could go on for a while. I'm trying to keep this spicy, people's opinions. Some people grew up with, both their parents, but both their parents were drunks. They were never home. Or you grew up with both parents that worked and they were good parents. They just worked too much and they wasn't in the house a lot like that with you, and you end up just running the streets again to bad stuff. That happens to a lot of people too. Or the father works too much and the mom really can't keep the eye on the kid like that after a certain age, and the kid runs out in the streets and learns the streets and just out there, and that happens a lot too. That happens to a lot of women. Their father figure's not around like that, so they go out and become, they become a fast chick and end up getting pregnant fast. And this is what I'm saying. This could go a long way. This conversation definitely could go a long, definitely a way. And I definitely want to know people's opinion because I know I grew up with a lot of females that got pregnant maybe in middle school, 12, 13, 14 years old. And, some of them, their father figures wasn't around, and the mom figure, didn't give them good advice about different things, and they didn't learn. It's a learning experience, and I feel like it's about the people that's around you. The people around you make you who you are. If you're not around good people, that got you in the good, they got your mind right, they set you right, most likely you're not going to turn out right, because sometimes it's just hard to learn everything on your own. It's almost impossible to learn everything on your own. Sometimes you need guidance. We all need some kind of guidance. You don't have guidance, you're going to end up falling into the wrong traps. We all definitely need guidance, and I feel like it definitely comes from family structure. And no, a family structure doesn't mean both parents in the household. So this is definitely something we're going to be tapping in more with. Definitely going to make a part two to this. Like I said before, y'all don't got to be afraid to hop on the platform. You don't got to be afraid to give your opinions, your advice. Hop on the StreamYard with your boy. Don't be afraid. Nobody's here to judge you how you grew up. But I'm definitely gonna make a part 2 to this, and I love to hear your stories. If people come back and replay this, I love to hear your stories. And if people don't got too much to say, I can end this in like 5 minutes. Let it go like in a good time. Like I've been on like an hour, 17 minutes, maybe like an hour, 25 minutes. If I don't get more people to that want to hop on. I got people that's watching, but I don't got people that want to give their opinions or that want to hop on. I'm not gonna stay on here just ramble on to myself. But I definitely appreciate people watching. I appreciate those that hopped on the panel with me and gave their opinions about how they grew up. It takes encouragement for people to hop on. A lot of people are shy to hop on. A lot of people are shy to be cammed up. I've been a little under the weather today, not feeling it. So, today wasn't really a cammed up day for myself, but I'm usually cammed up, and you always go check out my other videos. I'm usually always cammed up, so it really doesn't matter if I wasn't cammed up today. Don't blast me in the comments about it, but everybody has their off days. But this is definitely a conversation that I definitely want to push. I definitely want to get more people tuned into this. Maybe you got parents you wasn't comfortable talking to. A lot of us slide into that problem until we got parents where they may be too strict. Sometimes you got parents that just too strict and you don't grow up right because they're too strict, and you get old enough, boom, you off the chain now, and they can't handle you because they was too strict in your younger days, and that changed the way you grew up. So I'm definitely gonna make a part 2 to this. I'm not gonna really stay on too much longer. It's really no point. But those that did tap in with me, I appreciate it. Hit the like button. If you do replay this, hit that subscribe button. If you do replay this back, I'm definitely gonna make a part 2 to this. Hopefully next week I get more people on the panel to tap in and tune in with your boy. We're gonna go from there with this. Hopefully this platform goes up. Let's bless this platform. Get more people to tune in with me. Thursdays and Fridays is my chiller event. Sundays is my podcast. I have specific big topics we talk about on here. The whole thing is to get more people to tap in and tune in. This platform is about people's opinions. I'm definitely gonna make a part 2 of family structure. Those that tapped in and tuned in, I appreciate it. Does not go unnoticed. So on that note, I'm gonna end this stream right here. I've been on for like an hour and 20 minutes. Almost exactly. Definitely stay tuned, for more videos, more live shows coming up, because I can always pull this out the hat and do a live. And, I just want people to be more comfortable with hopping on with your boy. But definitely, I'm going to end this live now. I'm definitely going to make a part 2 to this. This is not over. This conversation is definitely not over. Definitely probably going to make a part 2 next week to this and have more people tap in, tune in. Those that did tap in, once again, thanks so much. It's your boy Jersey Rich. We're over and out with this.